Imagine this. You've just unpacked the very last box in your new place. You're completely exhausted. You go to the faucet for a much-needed glass of water and nothing. Completely bone dry. Why? Well, it turns out you accidentally set up water service in a completely different state, or maybe even a different country. Crazy, right? Welcome to the surprisingly complex world of establishing municipal water service when your city shares its name with several others across the continent. Setting up your water service online is an absolute must. It's super convenient, highly efficient, and literally saves you hours of headaches. But that's only if you get the right one. So in today's Explainer, we're building a comprehensive guide to setting up your water service in Richmond. Now, I know it sounds like a joke, but searching for Richmond utilities online, it's basically a game of geographic roulette. It is dangerously easy to apply for the wrong municipal service. Just think about it. We've got Richmond, Virginia, Richmond, California, Richmond, British Columbia, and Richmond, Kentucky. And trust me on this, their water departments absolutely do not talk to each other. So before you can reap all those great benefits like automatic billing and paperless statements, you have to make absolutely sure you're knocking on the right digital door. Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our geographic roadmap for today's Explainer. We'll start with the overall Richmond utility dilemma, then head to Virginia to look at email and MyHQ. After that, California and the EBMUD system, followed by British Columbia and Kentucky. Finally, we'll wrap up with some universal setup best practices. Let's kick things off with Section 1, the Richmond utility dilemma. Did you know that official relocation and administrative guides specifically warn people about this exact location trap? Because the name Richmond represents multiple prominent jurisdictions, pinpointing the correct utility provider, the right digital portal, and the specific fee structure is absolutely crucial before you type a single letter of your personal info into a web form. Just look at this spread. Depending on which coast or country you land in, your provider and contact numbers are completely different. In Virginia, it's the Department of Public Utilities. Out in California, you're looking for the East Bay Municipal Utility District. Up in BC, it's Engineering and Public Works. And down in Kentucky, it's just Richmond Utilities. If you run into an issue and accidentally dial the wrong support line, they literally won't even have your address in their system. Moving right along to Section 2, let's look at Virginia, specifically their email and MyHQ setup. Let's jump into our first deep dive on the East Coast in Richmond, Virginia. Fun fact, water from the James River is processed there at over 130 million gallons a day. Now, you might think setting up service for all that water is just a quick click on a website, right? Actually, no. Virginia currently relies on a surprisingly manual email-based process just to get started. First, you literally have to email their customer service inbox with your full legal name, your ID, your social security number, and your full address just to initiate an account creation ticket. Once they manually process that, they'll issue you a brand new 10-digit account number. It's only after all of that you can go online, register for the MyHQ portal, and finally set up autopay and go paperless. Now, a quick troubleshooting note. If you're setting this up in Virginia right now and running into some digital headaches, here's exactly why. The city has been rolling out something called Project Synergy in a partnership with Oracle and KUBRA. Basically, it's a massive modernization of their whole billing and customer service platform. Because of this huge transition, some customers have definitely experienced a few billing challenges recently. The city is actively addressing these issues, so if you're stuck, patience really is key here while they smooth out those digital wrinkles. And while we're still talking about Virginia, I want you to keep this specific number in mind, $16.70. That is the standard monthly water service charge for a typical 5/8" meter in Richmond. But here's the kicker. That is just the base charge. That's before your actual water usage fees of $2.96 per 100 cubic feet are even applied. It's always super helpful to know your baseline costs before that very first bill hits your mailbox. All right, shifting our geographical focus to the West Coast, Section 3, California and the EBMUD system. Out in California, the water provider for the area is the East Bay Municipal Utility District, or as it's universally known, EBMUD. Let's compare these two systems directly because it's pretty fascinating. Unlike Virginia, EBMUD actually offers a fully automated self-service online portal. No initial emails required. Awesome, right? Well, there is a massive catch. This slick digital portal is strictly limited to single-family residential properties. So if you're moving into a multifamily unit, an apartment complex, or you're trying to set up a commercial property, you're going to hit a digital roadblock. You simply cannot use the portal. You are required to pick up the phone and call their customer support directly to get set up. Once you do get set up in California, you really want to take advantage of those online auto pay features. Why? Because eBMUD operates on a very strict timeline when it comes to non-payment. Take a look at this. 60 days past your due date, your account officially becomes delinquent. At 75 days, they mail out a 15 business day written notice. And by day 88, they are actively attempting a final 48-hour notice, either by phone or in person, right before taking action on your service. They do not mess around. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is this specific number right here, 0.5. You see, instead of completely shutting off your water when you don't pay, eBMUD actually installs a flow restrictor. This little device reduces your water delivery to just half a gallon per minute. That is a tiny trickle. It's meant only to provide access to water for the absolute basics, like sanitation, cooking, and drinking. It's a pretty fascinating approach. It prevents total deprivation, for sure, but it makes taking a proper shower virtually impossible until you finally pay that bill. But to offset those strict shutoff policies, California does offer a really fantastic Customer Assistance Program, or CAP, for very low-income households. If you qualify, it's incredibly generous. We're talking a 50% discount on your standard bi-monthly service charge, plus a 50% discount on water use up to 1,050 gallons per person. They even throw in a 35% discount on wastewater service charges. The one thing to keep in mind, though, is that this benefit isn't indefinite. Customers have to remember to reapply every 24 months to keep that assistance active.
Let's move on to Section 4, British Columbia and Kentucky.
So we're transitioning to our final two jurisdictions, the Pacific Northwest and the American South. And wow, the contrast in municipal technology here is absolutely stark. Up in Richmond, British Columbia, things are highly integrated. You link your utility account to a centralized My Richmond digital portal. But to actually do that, you have to have a 6-digit folio number and an access code, which you can literally only find on a physical municipal utility or property tax notice. Meanwhile, down in Richmond, Kentucky, it is very old school. There's absolutely no automated form. Instead, you have to download a PDF application, fill the whole thing out, and email it right alongside your documents to the utility's email address. I want to throw in a quick, absolutely crucial tip for our Canadian viewers to help you avoid a really common pitfall. When you go to pay your bill online through your Canadian financial institution, it does not just happen automatically. You actually have to manually add City of Richmond Utilities as a payee in your banking app and then manually input that 6-digit account number from your bill. If you skip this step, your money is just going to bounce around. It won't actually make it to the utility department. Finally, we arrive at Section 5, Universal Setup Best Practices. We've officially traveled across the continent, and regardless of which Richmond you happen to live in, the crucial point is this. Before you click anywhere, you need to prepare these 3 things. First, double and triple verify you are using the correct regional portal URL. Second, have a clear, legible copy of a government-issued photo ID ready to either upload or email. And third, secure rock-solid proof of residency. So if you rent, have your signed lease handy. If you own, grab your property deed or settlement statement. Having these ready to go takes you from a complete beginner to a confident user in just minutes. And once you are finally set up online, you unlock all those incredible benefits: automatic billing, instant access to past statements, and the positive environmental impact of going totally paperless. So, as we wrap up, I'll leave you with this provocative final thought. With dozens of Richmonds scattered globally, are you absolutely certain you're paying the right water bill? Always double-check your URLs and provider names before you ever submit a payment or hand over your personal data. And please keep in mind, as a quick disclaimer, administrative procedures and requirements can and absolutely do change over time. So you should always verify the current information, forms, and fees directly with your local Richmond authorities or customer service department. Thank you so much for joining this explainer, and hey, here's to keeping the water flowing smoothly in your new home.